Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack the best insights from the experts, really save you time, and hopefully give you that edge. Today, we are digging into something, well, absolutely vital for any aesthetic medicine practitioner with big ambitions, but it's something that often gets pushed aside. We're talking about the business side, specifically getting the right patients through your door. Yeah, we're going beyond the clinical skills today, beyond the treatments themselves, to look at the engine that really powers growth. And our guide for this is Dr. Ari Massoudi. Now, he's got a fascinating background, molecular biologist, former researcher in regenerative medicine, and now a science tech business consultant. He runs a masterclass, and we're focusing on his playbook, the Solopreneur's Playbook, how to win your first 100 aesthetic medicine clients without selling your soul. So our mission today is simple. Pull out those proven tactics for attracting those high-value patients, especially if, the idea of selling makes you cringe a little. Because look, Dr. Massoudi's pretty blunt about this. The hard truth. Success isn't just about how skilled you are with a needle or laser. It really comes down to filling your schedule strategically with the right kind of patient. And that means prospect, smart prospect.
Exactly. And that's why this is just so critical. I mean, most practitioners get into this field because they're passionate, right? They want to change lives, boost confidence, create those beautiful, natural-looking results. You probably didn't sign up thinking, great, I get to be a salesperson. But, and this is Dr. Massoudi's core point, that desire to make a real difference. It only happens if you actually have patients treat, a steady flow. So he lays out this systematic, almost scientific way to acquire clients. It's not about having some magical sales personality. And here's the paradox, isn't it? Often the most brilliant clinicians aren't the busiest ones.
Okay, let's dive right in then. Dr. Massoudi starts with this foundational idea, something that might actually challenge how you see your practice right now. We all focus on honing our craft, perfecting techniques, which is crucial, obviously. Clinical skill is non-negotiable. But he says there's another lever for growth, one that gets missed a lot. What's this big shift in thinking he talks about?
Your only inventory is people. Full stop. Not your fancy machines, not even your skills. Think about that for a second. We pour money into the latest tech, the newest devices, endless training, and yeah, that's important. But he argues the real inventory, the thing that actually drives growth, is the number of real human beings you're connecting with. And what's really interesting is what he calls the math of success. He's looked at top clinics, the top 1%. And guess what? They don't necessarily convert leads way better than others. What they do differently is simple. They talk to way more people. While clinics that are struggling often just kind of wait, hoping patients will magically find them. So the actionable thing for you, listening right now, is to set a daily contact goal. Seriously, maybe it's 5 meaningful conversations, a real phone call, a thoughtful DM, an actual chat in person. Pick a number, and this is key, track it like it's a vital sign for your practice because, as he says, no contacts eventually means, well, no patient.
All right, here's the common hurdle, right? You talk to your friends, your family, those first few referrals, and then what? The well seems to run dry pretty quick. How does Dr. Massoudi suggest you keep that pipeline flowing? How do you constantly expand your reach beyond that initial circle?
Right, that's where his 100 rule is it's just brilliant. And it works, even if you think you're an introvert. It's all about smart leverage, using the connections you already have to tap into much bigger networks. You treat, say, a dental hygienist. She gets Botox from you. Now, she doesn't just know her own friends. She probably knows, 50, 60 patients who trust her opinion on faces?
Yeah, makes sense. They ask her things.
And she knows maybe 10 colleagues who are referring people daily, plus her gym friends, book club, neighbors. Suddenly, one connection opens up this huge potential network. So, Dr. Massoudi's advice here is practical. Map your network daily. Actually sit down and list maybe 10 people. Could be past patients, someone you chatted with at the gym, a parent from school. And then here's the magic question. Once you've got a bit of rapport going, who do you know who might be curious about, non-surgical rejuvenation or whatever? And he adds a pro tip. Use things like LinkedIn's People You May Know feature. Or look at Instagram's suggested profiles connected to your happy patients. These are like pre-warmed leads. They already have a connection to someone who likes your work.
Okay, so you're making these connections, but how do you avoid that vibe, that needy energy Dr. Massoudi warns about, that feeling that you're desperate for their business?
Yeah.
How do you project confidence, that magnetic posture he talks about, that actually draws people in?
Yes, the needy energy, we've all felt it from someone, right?
Yeah.
Over-explaining costs, following up way too fast, almost pleading.
Makes you wonder why they need the business so badly.
Exactly. Patients pick up on it instantly. It undermines your value, makes them doubt your skills even. So the fix, according to Dr. Massoudi, is adopting the trier mindset, TRIER. You're not there to convince everyone. You're there to filter, to see who's a good fit.
Like you're evaluating them as much as they're evaluating you.
Precisely. Is this person right for my practice and approach? Great. Let's talk next steps. Not a fit. no problem. Totally fine. Next, it just radiates confidence. He even gives a sort of script. You might say something like, look, I'm currently working with a select group of patients who really value mention your focus, e.g. very natural results or minimal downtime. If that sounds like what you're looking for, I'm happy to explore options. If not, honestly, no hard feelings at all.
I like that. It sets expectations and lowers the pressure immediately.
Exactly. It does two things. It creates a sense of scarcity. You're selective, which is attractive. And second, zero pressure means the patient relaxes, they open up. He tells this great story about a dermatologist in Paris. She totally changed how she booked consults. Instead of the usual, "Are you interested in learning about preventative aging?" she started saying, "I actually have just 2 openings this month for new patients specifically focused on preventive aging strategies." Does that resonate with what you're thinking about?
Oh, wow. Positioning it as limited availability.
Yeah, and her consult bookings doubled. Patients literally started chasing her for those spots. It completely flipped the script.
That's a powerful reframe. Okay, so you've got the right posture, you've got their attention. Now the actual conversation. Yeah, you mentioned people don't really care about the tech specs of your laser.
Right, they care about themselves, their worries, their hopes.
So how do you make the conversation, build that trust and excitement? How do you make them the hero, like you said?
This is where his feel-good questions are just, well, genius. They shift the focus entirely onto the patient. Instead of you talking at them, you're drawing them out, making them feel good, and connecting that feeling to you. He lists 5, but let me pull out 2 that are just fantastic. First, what's the best compliment you've ever received about your appearance?
Ooh, that's a good one. Gets them thinking positively right away.
It's like magic. They light up, they remember something nice, and subconsciously they link that warm, fuzzy feeling to you, the person asking. It builds rapport instantly. Most people never ask that. Second one, if you could wave a magic wand and change one thing about how you feel you're aging, what would it be?
More direct, but still focused on their desire.
Exactly. It gets right to the heart of their motivation, their vulnerability, but in a safe way. It's not what wrinkles bother you most. It's about their aspiration. And you can sprinkle these questions in everywhere. Networking event. Maybe lead with, "Wow, you have such radiant skin. What's your secret?" Someone comments on your social post, DM them. "Thanks. That post really struck a chord. What part resonated most?" During a consult, maybe ask, "Thinking about treatments, what's the one thing you've always been a little curious about but haven't explored yet?"
So it's about genuine curiosity, really listening.
Absolutely. Listen more than you talk. And definitely avoid those blunt, potentially insecurity-triggering questions like, "So you want Botox?" Or, God forbid, don't you just hate those lines?
Yeah, definitely not those.
Dr. Masudi tells this story about a clinic owner, Dr. D. She was at some local charity thing, saw a woman, Mrs. Penny, and just said, "Your skin looks incredible, so hydrated. What's your go-to trick?"
Miss Penny was thrilled, shared a routine, they had a lovely chat. And that warmth led directly to Mrs. Penny booking a hydrofacial and PRP combo later that week. Connection first, conversion follows. I get it.
That's the essence of it.
Okay, that conversational approach makes so much sense. Less pitching, more connecting. So we know how to talk to people, but where do you find these people consistently? Especially if hitting up big events feels intimidating. Dr. Masudi talks about using events strategically and also those little everyday moments, right? To build trust faster than just online interactions.
Oh, definitely. He really emphasizes the power of in-person. Like, one real conversation is worth 10 DMs in terms of trust building. Events are huge. And not just for finding potential patients directly, but maybe more importantly, connecting with those centers of influence.
The gym owners, hairstylists, planners you mentioned earlier.
Exactly. People who already have large, trusting networks. He has this whole 10-step event prospecting blueprint, which is detailed, but let me highlight a couple of key bits. First, the opening line when you spot a connector, someone everyone seems to know, instead of just, "Hi, try, hi, name. I couldn't help but notice you seem to know everyone here. What's your secret to building such a fantastic network?" Flattery, but genuine curiosity.
Puts them at ease, makes them the expert.
Right. Then you weave in those feel-good questions. And here's the killer move, the key question. How would I know if someone I meet tonight would be a really great connection for you?
Asking how you can help them. That's clever.
It's pure gold. They literally tell you who their ideal referrals are. And naturally, the law of reciprocity kicks in. They start thinking about who they know that might be a fit for you. He shared this great example. A nurse injector at a Botox training course. Big famous plastic surgeon was there. Instead of being intimidated, she went up and asked for advice. Something like, "Dr. Smith, with all your experience, what's the #1 thing patients tell you they wish they'd started doing earlier for prevention?" The surgeon said, "Honestly, preventive Botox in their early 30s." Because she asked that insightful question showed respect for his experience. He was impressed. He was super busy, so the next week, he actually referred 3 patients who were asking about starting Botox to her, just from that one conversation.
Wow, okay, that's powerful.
But it's not just big events. He's big on what he calls quick prospecting in everyday places. Think about where potential clients hang out. Cafes near high-end spas, Equinox-style gyms, bookstore aisles with wellness magazines.
Places where people are already thinking about self-care or appearance.
Exactly. And he has this super simple 3-step quick prospecting script for those moments. 1, genuine compliment. Wow, your skin is absolutely glowing. What's your secret? We keep coming back skin at work. 2, listen intently, then ask a feel-good question. Maybe, what's the one wellness trend you're most curious about right now? 3, offer value, gently, no hard sell. You know, I actually specialize in related treatment, e.g. medical grade facials. I'm relatively new to the area. If you're ever curious or have questions, I'd be happy to chat sometime. Absolutely no pressure.
Very low-key, just offering help.
Right. He told a story about a med esthetician at a juice bar, saw someone reading a popular skincare book, used that script, turned into a new client, who then referred 2 friends. It's about being aware, being authentic, and just being interested in people around you.
Making prospecting part of your routine. Now, the next hurdle, converting, turning that interest into a booked appointment and handling the doubts people inevitably have. Dr. Masudi has this follow-up that converts strategy, emphasizing it shouldn't feel pushy. And those stats are wild. 80% of sales need 5+ follow-ups. Most people quit after 2.
It's staggering, isn't it? We leave so much opportunity on the table just by giving up too soon.
And the handwritten note thing, 300% higher response, that's crazy effective.
It really cuts through the digital noise people notice. So his 4-step follow-up system leans into that. It's about staying top of mind with value, not nagging. Step 1. Day 1 after you meet someone interesting, send that handwritten card. Quick, personal. He jokes about getting your PA to write it if your handwriting's like a doctor's. Step 2. Day 7. Don't just say checking in. Share something relevant, an article, a link, something you discussed. Saw this piece on peptide benefits and thought of our chat. Step 3, day 14. It's powerful. Connect them to someone else in your network who might be helpful to them. Shows you're a connector, thinking beyond the sale. Step 4, day 21. A low-pressure invitation. Maybe to a small info evening you're hosting, or just, hey, want to grab a quick coffee next week? Still no hard sell. He gives this example of a laser clinic owner. Prospect was hesitant about a $2,500 package. Owner sent a handwritten note, included a before-after of a patient with similar concerns. That personal touch, that relevant proof, it tipped the scale. Prospect book.
But what about the really skeptical ones, the ones with specific fears or objections?
Yeah, for those, he teaches the ABC call. Super effective, especially when you're newer or facing tough questions. A, you. B, your mentor or a credible colleague, the believer. C, the client or prospect.
So bringing in backup.
Sort of, but it's more about third-party validation. People trust an expert opinion, sometimes more than the person directly selling to them. How it works. First, you edify your mentor to the prospect. Build them up. Dr. Evans has done hundreds of these procedures with truly amazing natural results. I really respect her perspective. Would you be open to hopping on a quick 5-minute call with both of us? Then, on the call, you introduce them, maybe ask the opening question, and then let your mentor B do like 80% of the talking, addressing the specific concern.
Takes the pressure off you, leverages their credibility.
Totally. He shared a story. New injector. Patients worried about fillers looking fake. She started doing ABC calls with her trainer, a well-known plastic surgeon. Patient says, I'm just so scared of looking done. Surgeon hops on, says, that's exactly why we use this specific filler and inject it this way. Let me show you, Mrs. Jones. She had the exact same fear. Shows a photo. Her closing rate shot up by 60% just by using these calls.
That's smart. And the tip about recording them.
Yeah. Record the Zoom, with permission, of course. Then you have that expert explanation ready to share with the next patient who has the same fear. Leverage.
Okay, that's a solid system for conversion. Now let's look long-term. Building a practice that thrives, where referrals just happen. Dr. Masudi argues most referral programs flop because they feel transactional. Like, give me a name, get 10% off. Feels kind of cheap. He suggests a better way.
He really does. It flips the script completely. Forget awkward requests for referrals. Instead, become a superstar networker through what he calls the give first strategy. It's about pure generosity, building relationships by providing value, expecting nothing immediately in return. He says there are 3 key things to give freely. 1, knowledge. Share tips, insights, relevant info. Hey, saw the study on vitamin C serums. Thought you might find it interesting. 2, connections. Introduce people who could benefit each each other. Your patient needs a great nutritionist. Connect them, even if it doesn't directly benefit you. 3, compassion. Just listen. Really hear their concerns, their insecurities without judgment. Be that trusted ear. The result, your perceived value goes through the roof. You're not just the Botox person. You're a trusted resource, a confidant. Referrals happen organically because people genuinely want to help you. And he adds this great piece of counterintuitive advice. Don't get bent out of shape over cancellations. See them as an opportunity. He told this story about a cosmetic nurse. Patient cancels last minute. Instead of being annoyed, the nurse emailed later. "So sorry we missed you today. Was thinking about our chat and put together a quick personalized AM/PM routine suggestion for you based on what we discussed. Hope it's helpful." Attached a simple PDF.
Wow, it's going above and beyond.
Totally unexpected value. The patient was blown away, felt cared for, not lectured. She immediately told her friend about this amazing nurse friend, came in, booked a $3,200 package, all from a cancellation handled with generosity.